Yeah, I think you're hitting the nail on the head. Good to be with you guys. I mean, when I left Goldman Sachs 4 years ago now, that was kind of the thesis, and we're seeing that playing out. We're seeing these companies go more mainstream. We're seeing more capital markets activity. We're seeing their names pop up in large rounds of financing or SPAC talk or whatever it might be. And I think that's only going to continue to ramp up across all the categories, not only kind of in the asset management investment fund part of the world where we live, but you're seeing it, as you mentioned, in custody, in lending with BlockFi, in all of these different segments of the market.
And obviously, new generation of millionaires will be minted as a result of that. Do you see this pyramid of investment narrowing over the next decade or so that there are not more, but ultimately fewer dominant players, and that consolidation and getting out of the initial positions that entrepreneurs have is going to be the dominant theme here?
100%. I was just going to use that same word, consolidation. You've already seen it in some parts of the market in a more pronounced way than others. So like the exchanges, for example, it was rampant, 3-4 years ago in the last crypto bull market. There was a new exchange popping up every day, whether it was in the US or outside of the US. And the most obvious thing in the world was going to say, that's going to consolidate, and lo and behold, it has. And you've had certain players gain more share. You've had others who kind of built on that success, like Coinbase, tap the public markets. So I think you're going to start to see a pattern follow, where whether it's in data analytics providers or people who evaluate blockchain data, who help people like the government agencies track and triangulate where cryptocurrencies are moving, or lending platforms, or in our world, in investment funds, there's a lot of talent that comes from non-obvious places. This isn't, the HBSs of the world churning out equity research analysts and investment bankers. The people who truly understand crypto and who know it fundamentally and know how to think about the markets, the market structure, and investing, they come from kind of less traditional paths. And it's our job to find them, which is why we did the acquisition.
Let me sneak in one more question before Kelly jumps in here. Is it, I don't mean to overstate this, but is it going to take a big company like a JP Morgan, a Goldman, a Bank of America to come in and buy one of these exchanges, one of these central players, to, quote, legitimize the market in a way that perhaps right now the market feels kind of fuzzy and a little bit sketchy, a little bit da-da-da-da-da. And you say you left Goldman. Are they embracing this?
Yeah, they are. I mean, I've been back to Goldman Sachs 15 times since I left, helping them across kind of all their parts of the business think about this space and kind of educate them on it. And they've started. They've launched a trading desk, and things are happening. And each of these traditional players that you mentioned, they're at different kind of like legs of the horse race, if you will. So I think two things are going to happen. One, you're exactly right. There is going to be that legitimizing rubber stamp where, State Street acquires
somebody
Gemini
comes in. Yeah.
But at the same time, there's going to be enduring franchises that are built, like Coinbase, that supplant or leapfrog some of these traditional players, because they know how to build the tech, the engineering that interfaces and interacts with this new market and this new technology.
Matthew, my question was simply going to be, what is it that your hedge fund does primarily? Where are the opportunities across the entire crypto space? Is it arbitrage? But, in the futures market, for instance, we mentioned at the top of the hour, the backwardation that's going on right there, which many take as a bearish sign. Is it traditional kind of long short sort of stuff? I mean, is it quote unquote stock picking and kind of knowing which crypto might come out of a tough patch as the one that has the most momentum behind it?
Yeah, I mean, that's really, you put it really well, because there's so many opportunities. So particularly 4 years ago when we launched, it was, okay, how best do we capture this full opportunity set while navigating everything that's evolving and managing the risks? And it was really a combination of thinking about a lot of different investment strategies and applying them in a professional sense, depending on what kind of market regime are we in. Are we in a hyperbolic bull market? Are we in sort of a sideways, neutral, choppy market? Are we in a bear market? And how best to compound wealth, preserve capital, and capture opportunities in those regimes. This most recent acquisition, I think, speaks well to your point, because one thing that I think is really important and is a function of how this market has matured and institutionalized over the last 4 years is because the market structure now exists where there are very attractive market neutral opportunities. So these are strategies that they're agnostic as to whether the underlying market, Bitcoin, Ethereum, crypto, is going up or down, zigging or zagging. These are strategies that are seeking to profit regardless of what part of the cycle you're in. And there's some institutions and investors who don't necessarily want that. I'm not saying everyone's been waiting for that. There are some who've said, we believe in the technology, we think it's going to be valuable over the long term, and we're willing to ride the waves in the roller coaster to get there. But not everybody, right? Particularly if you're a large organization with a board and a committee.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.